Hello, homemaker. Has your home been piling up with clutter for months, or maybe even years, no matter how many times you try to organize it? You've bought storage bins, folded clothes, neatly rearranged drawers, but still a few days later it's back to chaos. You spend hours cleaning, yet nothing seems to stay in place, and instead of feeling better, you end up exhausted. The truth is, the problem isn't you. It's that some of the ways you've been trying to organize are actually making things harder without you even realizing it. In today's video, I'm going to show you 6 habits that quietly sabotage your decluttering efforts, and I'll walk you through exactly what to do instead. These aren't dramatic changes. They're simple shifts that will help you keep your home tidy for longer without constant re-cleaning. Find what you need faster with less frustration. Spend less time managing your stuff and more time actually enjoying your space. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's been getting in your way and how to fix it in a way that actually works in real life. So let's get into it. Number 1 is, don't expect it to be perfect. One of the quiet reasons people stop decluttering is because they think they're doing it wrong. They look around and feel like their space still isn't good enough. They compare their home to someone else's cleaner, prettier, more minimal, and suddenly all their progress feels small. If that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. Decluttering is not about perfection. It's about progress. Real homes aren't spotless. Life is messy. Stuff moves around. Things pile up. The goal isn't to have a home that looks like a magazine. The goal is to create a space that works for you. Even if you're just doing one drawer at a time, one shelf a week, that still counts. That's still movement. That's still progress. I've been decluttering for years, and I still find things to let go of every month. Not because I failed, but because life changes. Needs change. Seasons shift. So give yourself permission to go slow, to pause when you're tired, to celebrate the small wins. Because in the end, it's not about having a perfect home. It's about creating a space that helps you breathe, think clearly, and feel more at peace every day. And if you're ready to take it a step further beyond just clearing the clutter, stay tuned for my next video. My next video shares some super practical ways to refresh the spaces you've already cleaned. Small habits, simple tools, and a few things that might surprise you, but really do make a difference. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Now back to today's content. Number 2 is, don't keep things just because they were expensive. Letting go of something you spent money on is hard. I get it. There's a voice in your head saying, but I paid good money for this. Here's the truth that helped me shift that mindset. The money is already gone. Keeping the item won't bring it back. I used to hold on to clothes I never wore, gadgets. I didn't use even furniture that didn't fit our space, all because I felt guilty about what they cost. But all it did was crowd my home and stress me out. What helped was asking myself a better question. Is this item helping me today or holding me back? If something doesn't fit your lifestyle, your space, or your values anymore, it's okay to let it go, even if it once cost a lot. And remember, the true loss isn't the money. It's the time, energy, and peace that clutter can take from your life every single day. Letting go clears that weight, and that's worth so much more. Now let's move on to the next part. Number 3 is, don't start without a plan. You know that burst of motivation that hits out of nowhere? Maybe after watching a decluttering video or just waking up feeling ready, so you grab a basket, start opening drawers, pulling things off shelves, and suddenly your whole house looks like it exploded. Yep, been there. The truth is, one of the biggest mistakes we make when trying to declutter is not having a plan. Not just physically, but mentally. No clear place to start. No idea where items will go. No system for what's staying, what's leaving, or what needs a second thought. It feels productive in the moment, but quickly turns into decision fatigue. You're moving piles instead of making real progress, and it's exhausting. Gradually, you will lose motivation and feel discouraged. What's helped me, and what I wish I'd done sooner, is creating a small, soft plan. Not a rigid schedule or color-coded checklist, just a sense of direction. Firstly, pick one category or corner, like just the nightstand or just kitchen utensils. Next, set a mini time frame. Even 10-15 minutes is enough. Then create zones: one bag or box for donate, one for trash, one for not sure yet. The goal isn't perfection. It's clarity. A clear plan will help you focus your mind, preventing you from having to fumble around looking in every room of the house. Because when you start with something light and clear, you actually finish it. And that small win gives you confidence to keep going without the crash. Number 4 is, don't keep gifts out of guilt. We've all been there, holding on to something just because it was a gift. Maybe it was a sweater you never really liked, a decorative item that doesn't match your style, but you keep it because someone gave it to you with love. Here's something that changed the way I think about this. A gift's purpose is to bring joy, not guilt. Once it's been received, its job is done. You've acknowledged it, appreciated the thought behind it, and that's enough. Keeping something that doesn't serve you now doesn't honor the giver. It just clutters your space and weighs on your energy. It's okay to let it go. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're being honest about what truly supports your life today. And if the item is still in good condition, you can pass it on so someone else can enjoy it, which is a much better outcome than letting it collect dust out of obligation. Now let's move on to the next part. Number 5 is, don't just sort. This is a mistake so many of us make. We sort everything into piles: donate, toss, keep, and then we stop there. Unprocessed, the bags sit in the hallway, the boxes go into the garage, and weeks later they're still there, just taking up space in a new spot. It feels like we decluttered, but in reality, the clutter is still in the house. Decluttering isn't done until the stuff is actually gone. If you've made the decision to let something go, follow through. Put donation bags in your car immediately. Even if you can't drop them off today, they're one step closer to gone. Schedule a drop-off or pickup this week. Put it on your calendar. Treat it like any other important errand. For items you want to sell, give yourself a firm deadline. If it doesn't sell by then, donate it and don't feel guilty. And here's the best part. Once the stuff is out of your house, the relief is instant. You see the empty space. You feel it in your body. It's like a weight has been lifted, not just from your home, but from your mind. You don't have to live surrounded by bags of almost done. You deserve the full benefit of all your effort, the lightness, the clarity, the peace. So don't just sort. Follow through. That's where the real freedom begins. Now let's move on to the next part. Number 6 is, don't rush out to buy organizing bin. It's easy to think if I just had the right baskets or containers, my house would be so much neater. But here's the truth. Buying organizing products too early can actually slow you down. I used to do this all the time. I'd go to the store, get a bunch of pretty bins, come home, and then realize I still had way too much stuff. I ended up using those bins to store clutter instead of solving the problem. Here's what I've learned. Decluttering comes before organizing. Until you know exactly what you're keeping, you don't know what size or type of containers you'll need, or if you need any at all. You might find that after a good declutter, you don't need more bins, you just need less stuff. So take your time. Focus on clearing out first. Then when you're ready to organize what's left, you can choose the right tools that actually fit your space and your real needs. This way you save money, avoid extra clutter, and create a system that truly works, not just one that looks nice for a few days. Now, let's move on to the next part. Number 7 is, don't start with emotional item. When we begin decluttering, we often think, I'll just get rid of what I don't use, like old letters, keepsakes, or childhood things. But that's where many people get stuck. Items with memories like photos, gifts, or your baby clothes are the hardest to let go of. They're tied to emotions, people we love, and special times in our lives. And if you try to deal with them too soon, you might end up sitting in the middle of a pile feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do. That's what happened to me. I thought I was ready. But after pulling out a box of old memories, I didn't feel motivated. I felt tired and sad. And I didn't make any real progress. That's why I always recommend. Start with the easy stuff. Things like worn-out clothes, expired food, or random cords. The kind of things you can make a quick decision on. Once you've built some momentum and feel more confident, then you can come back to the sentimental items. And when you do go gently, you don't have to throw everything out. Keep what still feels meaningful and let go of what no longer fits your life now. The goal isn't to forget the past, it's to make space for who you are today. Now, let's move on to the next part. Number 8 is, don't let the maybe pile take over. It starts with good intentions. I'm not sure about this one, I'll decide later. And then another item, and another. Before you know it, the maybe pile is bigger than the keep, and donate piles combined. Here's the problem. The more decisions you delay, the more clutter you keep. A big maybe pile just pushes the stress into the future. It keeps you stuck in limbo, and your home still feels heavy. So what's the solution? Set some boundaries. Give yourself a time limit. Ask, will I use this in the next 3 to 6 months? If not, let it go. Use a time will tell box. Put uncertain items in a box, label it with a date, and store it out of sight. If you don't miss anything after 3 or 6 months, you'll know it's safe to donate. You don't have to force every decision today, but you also don't want to keep carrying clutter around just because it's easier than deciding. Every maybe is a tiny weight, and clearing those tiny weights adds up to real relief. Now let's move on to the next part. Number 9 is, don't do it all alone. If you're struggling, decluttering can feel really personal and sometimes really hard. You might start strong, but halfway through it gets emotional or just plain exhausting. You lose steam, you second-guess yourself, and suddenly you're stuck in the middle of a mess with no energy to keep going. That's when a second person can make all the difference. Invite a friend or family member to help, not to judge or tell you what to do, but just to be there. Sometimes having someone sit with you, keep you company, or gently ask, "Do you really need this?" is all it takes to stay focused. Or find someone who's also decluttering their space and keep each other motivated. Check in, share before and after photos. Celebrate small wins together. Decluttering doesn't have to be a solo project. Having support can turn a stressful task into something light or even fun. You're not weak for asking for help. You're smart for making it easier on yourself. Number 10 is, don't try to declutter everything at once. Have you ever started cleaning one room, and by the end of the hour, your whole house is a disaster? The kitchen counter is covered in stuff from the hallway. The bedroom has boxes meant for the garage. There's a pile forming in the living room that you don't even remember starting. What was supposed to be just a quick tidy-up turns into a giant mess, and now you feel stuck, frustrated, and not sure what to do next. This used to be my exact pattern. I thought I was being efficient by bouncing from room to room, but really I was just spreading the overwhelm. Here's what changed everything. Focus on one space and one space only. It doesn't have to be a whole room. Start with a nightstand, a bathroom drawer, the kitchen junk tray that collects receipts and rubber bands. Give it your full attention and don't move on until it's done. Because finishing one thing fully feels 1,000 times better than half doing 10 things at once. And once you see that small space transform, your energy shifts. You start to believe it's possible not just to declutter, but to breathe easier in your own home. So there we have it. 10 things you shouldn't do when decluttering your home. If you've made it this far, I hope you're feeling a little more supported and a little less alone in your decluttering journey. Remember, it doesn't have to happen all at once. You're allowed to take your time. What matters most is that you're creating a home that feels calmer, lighter, and more like you. And if you're ready to take it a step further beyond just clearing the clutter, stay tuned for my next video. My next video shares some super practical ways to refresh the spaces you've already cleaned. Small habits, simple tools, and a few things that might surprise you, but really do make a difference. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Now, bye and see you again.